Today I have David LeBeau, Dylan LeBeau, my daughter Jordan Smith, and on the phone we also have Jay Clement. So welcome everybody.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Good. Well, we had a very eventful weekend. We had the truck race. It was also prom night, which you guys made the truck race your all's prom.
Yeah.
And you also made driver of the week. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely could not have gotten that on a better night, prom night. So
Yeah, that was pretty good.
good timing.
How do you feel about that?
It was definitely something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. I heard from my friends that actually went to the normal prom, and it sounds like we definitely had more fun than they did.
Good.
He actually proposed to me earlier in the week.
Promposed?
Prompose,
Is it
yeah.
a new word?
Prompose. The garage door of the shop came up, and I see a sign taped on the back of his truck that says prom ? And he has a bouquet of flowers in his hand. So.
I forgot my wallet.
Yes, he
I had to
forgot
run
his
and get
wallet,
it,
so I had to
yeah.
go home.
You're smooth, man. Almost as smooth as Jay.
Just
He
about.
didn't get that from me at all. Where he got that from? I guess it was from Molly. Man, that's good stuff.
And I do want to thank my mom. She definitely helped out with that for sure. I'm not the most crafty. Molly's Creations kind of helped out with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we kind of recreated that in Victory Lane when he got the driver of the week and that whole ceremony. So it was really fun to do.
Yeah.
So the driver of the week, first time this year?
Yes, first you can only win it once per year.
Okay,
so
is it the first time ever? Or
I won it last year.
You won? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, good.
So yeah.
So that worked out, and you guys actually had your picture taken on the start-finish line in
Yeah.
front of everybody.
It's a good picture.
Yeah, so we had the video and everything of that, some pictures. It was really good.
I thought that really made the night nice.
Yeah.
You know, to see them up on Victory Lane in prom dress and then of course
Yeah, my
Dylan
little
his
tuxedo
tuxedo
t-shirt.
or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call that. But you know, it was
You had a bow tie too. Did you wear that night?
It didn't
for a
look, it didn't
moment.
look right. Yeah.
It looked a little more.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you would have it
Yeah.
behind your suit.
No,
or not.
yeah,
So
like
it
she
was-
said, it looked a little scandalous.
Yeah,
He was thinking of a word to say it, but
I was trying not to go in the gutter, but I think I didn't go to prom either. You know, I raced that night, so
Did you bring a girl though?
I did not because we went to Ocala Speedway. It was a long haul, and so yeah, I do remember that, but I got in trouble about that.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like I missed something big. So like the next year I went and I didn't miss anything. I should have just continued racing.
Yeah.
but I'm glad you guys got a chance to do that and spend that at the races. You know, but
And both of you being gearheads, I know you didn't really mind
No, not at all.
missing. You went to your prom last year, really didn't have too much fun, but knowing the both of you and also seeing you guys that night, I know you guys really had a lot of fun. So really, no matter what the outcome of the race would have been, I think you two still would have had a good night. So
yeah, we'd love to won that
Yeah,
race,
that would make it
and
great.
it would have been awesome.
yeah.
But you know, it was still fun.
So yeah, and you finished fourth.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of walk us through everything? Because I know it was a messed up race.
Yeah, there was a lot going on that race. Definitely. Kind of the night started off. We go and draw my pill, and I drew like dead last for the heat race. So I only got up to I want to say sixth for the heat race, and started sixth in the feature and just kind of started working my way towards the field. And about 5 laps in when the first caution came out, or not even.
Mhm.
And that's kind of when all the mess started. If you guys want to get into more
Well,
of that with me?
and just so you know, we have Jay on the phone here, and Jay is Dylan's spotter, and also my spotter, and they've worked together since Dylan's made his first laps, and they have a very good relationship. Jay, you want to say hello?
Yeah, hello. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're happy you're here, and happy for what you do because you do it very well. very calm on the radio, and talk us. I want to kind of hear what you guys were thinking in the heat race. Because I know we started deep in the field in the heat race. So what were your guys' thoughts, and what was your game plan?
Well, the heat race, I mean, it's an 8-lap event, and, not a whole lot can be learned about the field, and how the race is going to unfold once we get to the feature. So the heat race, yeah, he had some forward movement. My job that I feel during the heat race is just to get him through it, just to survive.
Right.
Because this is an invert. And we don't know what the invert is going to be until we get closer to the feature. So, I kind of feel, like it's my job to help them survive the heat race.
Right.
Because it can be a little raucous, it can be a little crazy, despite the very limited laps and the fact that everybody who finishes the heat race, no matter where you finish, is going to race in the feature. There was a little bit of drama during the heat, as I recall. I think Dylan picked up a couple spots from where he started pretty deep in the field.
I think we started last.
Yeah.
Right at the tail of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He picked up a couple spots and picked them up relatively easily.
Right.
That word I use loosely.
Right.
But, he came out of the truck when the heat was done, and he was enthusiastic about how the truck was. He wasn't over the moon about it, but I remember thinking to myself, based on what he said, that we felt that we had a pretty good piece. I think that the total number of trucks that we had there was 10 or 11, and he felt pretty good and confident about how the truck ran during the heat.
Which when you're running with crate motors, it's really hard to know who has what. Track position is so important where you start. Supposedly we all have the same horsepower across the board, if everybody's correct, and we all pretty much know what gear to run. And
the other too is who's holding back, who's sandbagging a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody was really, to be honest with you. I think in practice everybody tried to put a good lap down to kind of set the tone to who's your faster truck at that point. And then the heat race, you try to go and basically concrete that deal by following up what your practice time was,
Right.
And I think everybody kind of stayed in line. The only wild card was the 5 truck, because he had some issues in practice, had some issues in the heat, but in the feature, that truck really came on strong.
Right. Yeah. He struck me, especially during the feature, as a long run truck.
Indeed,
I wasn't
for sure.
Impressed with it during the heat race. I wasn't unimpressed, but he struck me, especially during the feature, as a long run truck,
Right.
because it took him some time. Obviously, he's got to work his way through traffic, but it took him some time. Traffic notwithstanding, to work his way up and kind of dial the truck in,
Right.
find his groove and work his way up.
Yeah, and we had cautions that kind of came in and kind of hindered that.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas that helped us. I felt like, and Dylan can correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like we were better on a short run than we were a long run.
I agree.
with that, yeah.
Yeah, our first caution actually came pretty quickly. And it was a self-induced spin, I think, by the 2 truck. And there was a little bit of drama afterwards with the
Choose cone.
Yeah.
the choose cone.
Yeah, the choose cone to me is, I mean, you either know the rules or you don't, and I'm not really sympathetic on what the deal was. I feel like that we all come here to race, know the rules, or if you don't know the rules, well, the track's going to teach you the rules pretty quickly, and so I'm not super sympathetic on what happened there, and I won't go into too much detail, but nevertheless, that's the hand we were dealt, and so we went ahead and dealt with it. But you can continue on from there.
Yeah, so after that drum, I mean, I didn't really know what the track was doing because they weren't communicating it to us. And subsequently, if the track isn't talking to us, I can't talk to the driver about what's happening. I can only tell him.
Right.
And that's what I tried to convey to Dylan. I try not to overload him because he's got enough to think about out there. But
Right.
at the same time, I want to keep him informed, especially when the rag drops, because he may be expecting to see certain things when you have a choose cone violation like we had with a number of trucks.
Right.
And that didn't, because the track, they decided they wanted to be forgiving
Right.
and help these guys along. That's fine. But I couldn't convey that to my driver because that's what was
Yeah,
happening.
we need to keep him calm and collective in the truck, and
we've had situations where I said, where he's been involved in something. I said, just shake it off, move on, let's continue.
right,
Let's move on, and that's basically what we did.
right. And as the race kind of panned out, the 59 truck was the class of the field, in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yes.
I don't think we had anything for her, to be quite honest. The 31 truck was super loose.
Mhm.
I think when they bunched us up, Dylan had a shot there, and so did the 5. And was there another truck involved that was
In the
close?
The 99 was
The 99 was
yeah.
always fairly
Kind of had
strong.
some issues in the beginning of the race, but I think he came back around
Um,
for the race.
The 31 would be a little difficult to pass because how loose he was, but he was very fast.
Still stout, yeah.
Yeah,
Still
he-
stout when he got it straight.
He brought his definitely a faster package than we've dealt with him before. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Normally we pass him pretty easy, but he was strong.
Yeah. The
So-
31 and the 5 are definitely our biggest competitors.
Yeah. In like I said in the beginning of the show, the 5 really put on steam.
I think if we could have finished that race, it would have been a great race between the three of us.
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see how that panned out. As the finish of the race, to kind of fast forward it seemed like that I wasn't aware that we were going to go a caution checker or
next flag ends it.
nobody
knows that.
really knew what was going on. So, I know I had posed I normally don't come on the radio and interrupt you guys, but I personally thought that Dylan was in third when the caution came out. And I know I heard you tell Dylan that, hey, there's a wreck behind you, just take it easy, but we're coming to caution. So we really didn't know we were racing back to the caution. We would have approached that a lot differently if we would have known.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the issue, the scenario that unfolded was, there was a wreck that happened, a single truck wreck behind Dylan that happened in turn 3. And everybody saw that there was some weather kind of going on around us, but it was quite a bit away from us. After the wreck unfolded, there's a single truck. I believe maybe less than a lap after that, we saw the flagman.
Yeah, just drop checkers.
And I had heard nothing about
Yeah.
a checker flag, a yellow flag, and checker flag waving to a race. I had heard nothing about it.
Right.
And I have the tower in one ear and I had Dylan in the other.
Right.
And he actually saw it a split second before I did, as he was coming across the strike.
Right.
So we were completely uninformed as to.
Yeah, and we both know, and Dylan does too, the severity of lightning in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So working at Petty and working at Daytona Speedway, and heck, even when we went to a concert in Jacksonville, they cleared the stand.
Right.
Lightning is no joke to mess around with at a stadium where you have people out there, but we have to kind of know what's going on, so we can we can race accordingly to it.
Right. So with what was unfolding in front of us, if that was their intention, I certainly never heard anything about it. And if if I had heard that they wanted to race back to the caution and then end the race, I would have been concerned because of the location. I believe it's a 21 truck up in turn 3, kind of hanging in the upper groove and maybe a little bit into the middle groove.
Right.
And my concern would have been all that traffic racing back harder.
Right.
In theory,
Right.
back to the finish line for position.
Well, like I said, we could have adjusted our race to, customize what was going on. Nobody really knew on our camp, at least in our team, what was happening. So, and I got a little boisterous about it because I'm going to fight for tooth and nail. Each position is very important to us. We have sponsors, we have people that pay a lot of money, and we have friends and family, and every position means a lot to us.
Absolutely.
So it's not something we can just shrug off and say, oh, well, lightning's in the area, you guys are. No, we would have approached it a little differently. And so, I found myself a little exasperated about the whole thing, and to kind of just keep it to that point that transparency is very important. Everybody having receivers is very important. This is called pro trucks. This isn't rookie trucks. This isn't bombers. This is pro. This is you guys. They have pro people working on these trucks. That pay a lot of money to get these trucks dialed in.
I'd like to bring another point. You said you brought up the bombers. Like
the bombers have to have race.
No, here's what I'm getting at is the bombers have the 24-second rule.
Right.
If it's somebody's first time at the track and they break out of the 24
they're going to the back.
Are they going to get a mulligan because they didn't understand
they're going to the
rule?
back.
No, they're going.
No, and
That's a
listen.
great point. There's no mulligans there.
No, there's no mulligans in racing, and I'm not beating up on anybody or anything, but I'm just saying that if we crossed that, if we ran over that choose cone or whatever, we'd be in the back. I know this. So it's just important that everybody comes to the racetrack prepared. Have your receiver, have your spotter, have your team ready. They're just this is pro trucks. Mm-hmm. This is a high dollar division that tours occasionally. It used to tour occasionally. This is not a entry level division.
Yeah.
So this could have changed the outcome of the race tremendously. Yeah. Anytime you make a call, stick with the call. I'm okay with that. But if you let's take this as a learning experience and move forward from it. But there was, in my opinion, some fumbles here that could be corrected. And not beating up on anybody or any.
Like this, no matter what the situation, I try to look at them objectively.
Yes.
And objective viewpoint, when the caution was out.
Bring us down pit road and set us down pit road and say, hey, we're going to wait till this lightning passes and you guys can finish your race.
We're used to, the first time there is a cloudy ground strike, there's a 30-minute hold.
Yes.
Okay. So we're in a 30-minute hold.
Right.
So we go down pit road, we park the trucks, we clear the stands, we clear everybody out.
Out of the pits too. Jay, think about this. We're all up on our observation decks on the trailers. We're down on pit road. The pit guys are important too. You got to clear those folks out, not just the stands. You know what I'm saying?
Recently, a spectator at a race in Daytona, and they cleared the stands.
Right.
This is a cup race in Daytona. They cleared the stands. They cleared pit road. They parked the cars. They covered them up. Everybody was undercover. We're talking about thousands of people.
Right.
And when a half hour had passed, they brought everybody back out and they started the race again.
Right.
So that's what I would expect.
Right.
I would not expect
caution and then a checkers.
If you look, Grant, I understand what took place, but frankly, we had 6 laps left. If we had resumed racing 30 minutes later, or if we had resumed racing 5-10 minutes later, it would have taken us less than 2 minutes to finish our race.
Right.
Well, and that's what I was going to
And
say.
the amount of time it took for pit road, or I'm sorry, front stretch interviews, we could have finished our race.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
We could have.
Because that wasn't enough time to let the lightning pass through. So what were you going to say, Joe?
Well, I was just going to say, just to follow up with Jay, because once the stands were cleared, everybody, they stopped the race. They still did the track interview
Right.
there on the finish line,
Right.
and
we were,
before you know it,
quite frankly,
they're sending the other cars out ready to race.
we were confused on where we finished.
Yeah.
Because if the caution came out and Dylan was ahead of the 5, we technically would have been in 3rd.
Right.
But see, Dylan didn't pressure the 5 because those two had already discussed that, hey, there's a caution behind you, there's a wreck behind you, just bring it back to checkers. I mean, bring it back to caution.
Yeah.
Carefully. Dylan didn't know he was racing for the checkers.
Right.
Maybe the 5 did. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they, because I kind of smarted off to the 5 team. I said, I think we beat you guys. He was like, no, I think you need to check the video. I'm like, no, I think we had you guys at when the caution came out. We were ahead. So that brings me back to the sponsors and all the effort we put into this. It's not something we just shrug off easily. We're fighting for that position. Now, should we run hard to caution every single time? Because I haven't done that in years. In years, we haven't run hard to caution.
That goes back to something that was taken out of play, like you said, years
ago. Yeah, I've never run back to caution. I don't know. It's got to be, I don't know, 10, 15 years now.
Or if they were going back to the last completed lap, nobody knows.
But I mean,
nobody knows that.
I mean,
that should be something that goes.
Yeah,
over
do we readjust our thinking and say, okay, well, we're just going to run hard back to caution like we're running to checkers every freaking time?
Yeah.
We didn't. Our team did not do that, and we lost a position. I feel like we lost a position.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't. Maybe someone can show me differently because the angles were a little funny on the video, and I did look.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Well,
I have no problem.
I can see why you would not want to race back, because what if the caution's in turn 1?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you're trying to race back. Well,
Right.
now you're going full speed as you cross the finish line,
Right.
straight into where
Right.
the caution is.
Right.
So you don't want to do that.
So I was amplified, and I was on the radio a little bit amplified, and
Amplified. It's a big.
that's a good word.
Never heard you say that before.
That's a good word. It's better than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We actually went through tech, and I questioned those guys about where we finished, and I heard it from tech that we were in 4th. So I was a little upset about how it played out. I understand the circumstances. So by no means are we trying to beat on anybody about the track or anything like that. We get it. I don't think I've ever, since I've been racing at New Smyrna, ever had a lightning deal. That's never happened.
But, and another point to go back to earlier in the race, if we didn't run so many caution laps, we probably could have finished that race.
Yeah, I mean, if
We
they would
ran
have just said,
a
"Hey,
caution lap.
listen, you missed the choose cone. You're going to the back. I'm sorry for your luck.
Yeah.
Now you know."
Mhm.
We could have continued on and finished that race most likely.
Yeah.
So
But, I mean,
that's kind of how.
Did we run as many caution laps as I?
Oh my
felt like we
God!
did?
I want to jump off that trailer head first. We ran so many cautions.
Yeah.
Those cars are not designed
Yeah.
to run around that track slow, or trucks or cars. They're designed to run at full speed at full RPM to keep those trucks cool. They're not designed to idle around there. So when we're either shut us off and let us sit there until you guys figure out what you want to do, or let us go racing.
Yeah.
Be prepared. That's in a nutshell. It's pro trucks, guys. It's pro
And
trucks.
we could have finished that race.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I mean, they're the
We had
pay.
time to conduct interviews on the front stretch.
Yes.
The amount of time the interviews on the front stretch took more time than it would have taken us to complete 5 or 6 laps or whatever we had left.
Right.
So, you know, and we all know that 5 or 6 laps can make a world of difference, you
Yeah.
know, in that field. It can change everything.
Right.
And I still believe personally that they could have still finished that race, went on to the next one, and then if they had to clip a race short, it could have been on the last one.
Yeah, because
I
every other
think that was-
got the
That
full.
that all being said, I go back to something that Dave said, and Dave's got a ton of history at that track. And he said earlier that he's never experienced
Never.
a light warning at that track.
I've been at that. I've been watching that races there my whole life. We've never cleared the stands ever.
So that tells me that when that storm got to, in theory, within 8 miles of the track, that the people who run the track, let's face it, they have a
Liability.
they have a responsibility
Sure. Yes.
to fans, and
Right.
yeah, there's a liability issue as well. So I think when that got as close as it did,
Right.
you know, I'm not saying they're panicky people, but maybe a little bit of panic probably set in, and they wanted to clear those stands, and that was the priority,
Right.
was to clear the stands, because the responsibility they have to those fans, in my view, is number one.
I agree.
Because
Safety
what
for
happened-
everybody is number one.
Your venue. They're
Right.
just, you know, it's not going to happen. So I think they acted appropriately.
Right.
Are there other responsibilities the track has to the racers and to the teams and to the drivers? Of course. But at the end of the day, you know, they had to act on what they believed was reasonably taking place in front of them, and I think they did that.
Yeah.
And we can I'm not saying we're second guessing it, but
Oh.
you know, we can discuss the byproduct of that decision.
Right. It's
But at the
easy
end of
to
the day,
it's easy to sit back and quarterback it later. It's easy to sit back and armchair quarterback the
Correct.
calls. It's much easier. It's much harder at the time. And you know, I agree with you 100%. Make a call. Stick with the call. You know, even if it's wrong, stick with it. We can discuss it later, whether it be against us or whoever the call is. Make it, and then we can always discuss it,
Yeah.
and then make better decisions next time around.
Right.
In my opinion. So
Yeah, no,
so anyways, we ended up fourth.
Still a respectable finish for how we've been with the truck. We've had to make some pretty big strides with it, and it's good to have it back kind of towards the front of the field, and we're still going to keep making strides and try to get it.
Yeah, the trucks are a tough division.
Absolutely, yeah.
They are no joke.
Well, being a stock chassis still, you know, we don't have as many adjustments as we do with the modified, so you're kind of relying on other aspects to do it. And me and Bobby were talking about there's 1,000 different ways to do it, and you got to try all 1,000 until you hit right. And so, whereas, you know, we kind of struggled towards the end of last year. I mean, struggled, I use that word lightly. We weren't awful, but we weren't by no means the fastest out there, and we still aren't. But you know, we're trying stuff and trying to get there, just and have a little bit better finishes.
Yeah, I know. I'm pleased where we're at with the truck. Like I said in the last podcast,
We're at a good working point now, I think.
like I said in the last podcast, it's tough to run one division competitively.
Yeah.
2 or 3, you know, in totally different totally different race cars.
Night and day difference.
It's they're what works on Biscuit does not work on Rolex.
Yeah.
But that leads me to the next conversation is a sponsor spotlight. And we want to talk about them.
Yeah.
We want to talk about Daytona Estate Jewelry and Derek Ames.
Yeah, my first sponsor.
Yep. And they were your sponsor from the get-go. I mean, they've stuck with you from race 1 until we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And a little history on Ann is that they're in the Daytona flea market, and she's been there since 1989. I think since they opened the market, which is pretty cool.
Oh wow!
She's been there the whole time. She has an enclosed booth, but don't let that scare you.
Friendliest lady.
Open that door and go right in there and talk to them. Tell them you like racing because she loves racing. She loves music. She loves art. She loves jewelry. There's no way you can't find anything to talk about with Ann and Derek. They buy and sell jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
new and used, and like I said, they've been with Dylan, not a sponsor of mine that kind of piggybacked over Dylan. They've kind of followed you and kind of just supported you from the get go.
Yeah, and then even just the relationship outside of being a sponsor that we've gotten them. I forget where me and Derek were, but we were at the track for some event at Daytona, and someone was like, "Is that your son?" He goes, "Close enough." So kind of
That's
it's
awesome.
kind of cool. It's kind of the relationship that
is-
me and Derek have kind of grown to
that
have,
is
and
awesome.
too, they're great, awesome people.
Right. And it's not just your racing. They also do a lot of charities in Volusia County.
Kids Rock the Nation. I think
Kids
is the
Rock the
biggest
Nation
one,
is a
which
huge
awesome.
one, which both of you have music backgrounds. Not only does Dylan like to drive race cars, but and play music. Jordan is a very accomplished musician, and so that really kind of coincides with.
Yeah.
It's a great sponsorship.
Yeah.
It is, and I think they'll be with you until you make it the big time. Hopefully,
Yeah,
you know.
hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, so they're a great great folks for us. It's a great fit. We can't be any happier with them. And you want to say a few words other than Derek. Also, you're working with him on his road racing stuff.
Yeah. He's
an accomplished road
Mhm.
racer.
very good road racer. I've learned a ton from him, and he's introduced me to some really cool people also.
He's also taken you on a. Can you
Talk about the
elaborate
ride.
on the ride
Yeah.
that he gave?
He gave me-
So let me just make this pretty quick. Dylan does rides at Daytona, the oval track stuff.
Yeah.
So Derek offered to take him for a ride on the road course.
Yeah.
and I think Dylan had one of his helmets on, so it was a really fancy. Was it one of our
It
helmets?
was
or
my helmet.
Oh, it was yours?
Yeah.
But he got a little nauseous.
I had to throw up after. Definitely.
Thank God he didn't throw up in the car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But definitely I don't like not being in control.
Yes,
And
I'm the same way.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
the same
had to
way.
get out, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom for a second." And I threw up. I didn't tell anybody for a while.
No, you told me and I told him. We were transparent.
I tried to keep it on the low, but
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
tough. Left and rights are tough. And
Yeah.
when you're not in control.
Yeah.
When you're ready for them, you can kind of brace.
Mhm.
But when you don't know they're coming or not sure what the force is going to be. So yeah, we kind of got a chuckle about that. But yeah, it's been a great. They've
just
been
fun people. Fun
yeah,
being
yeah,
around.
they have been fantastic to us. And so, if you need any of your jewelry repaired or you're looking for some jewelry, please go and see them at the flea market because they're great people and they support local racing, local charities, and they're here for us.
And a great selection of stuff. I found her some.
Some
Christmas
amazing,
gift, yeah.
amazing stuff. A quick
They
little.
do custom jewelry.
They do
too, right?
custom, and I want to tell you this. Before they became our sponsors or even racing or anything, I picked out my diamond for Molly's wedding ring and wedding bands from them. It's just kind of funny how this town is. It's just kind of funny how it all kind of works out. But yeah, I don't even think Anne remembers. And I told her, I said, when I showed, had a picture of me putting the ring on Molly's when I asked her to marry me, I bought that from Anne. And of course she didn't remember. She sold thousands of freaking rings. She wouldn't remember that. But it's just kind of full circle kind of stuff. So that's very cool. So I don't shop anywhere. Whenever I need jewelry stuff, it's always from Daytona State Jewelry. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Support businesses that support your local racing or local charities or just local. That's important.
Just support local businesses.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's very important. So, anyways, we wanted to do that for them. And what else? What else I got? I didn't go too crazy. Was I too bad this week?
No, you weren't. Too bad.
No, it wasn't
you're
too
quite
bad.
calm.
Okay. So I
Brought a
wasn't.
tear to my eye.
What'd you say, Jay?
It brought a tear to my eye
What about what?
about your whole speech about Daytona State.
Yes. Well, they've been fantastic. Get over there and buy your wife a ring. Hurry up.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I know that Mark bought some coins and stuff for his necklace and some other stuff, but they do awesome over there. So the next race, what are we looking at for?
Next
We're
race?
off this week.
Off this week. If anybody needs a spotter, I'm available.
Yeah, he's available to spot. If it gets out in time, we'll get this. If the
It should be
podcast gets out
hopefully
in time.
But next race might be the return of Blackie.
Okay,
It's a possibility.
good deal.
Bad
I know.
news.
Finney has done a lot of work. You and Bobby have done a lot of work.
Yep.
I've done some transportation for
Yeah.
getting the cars back and forth to there. So yeah, we've got some shake. We got to shake that car down.
Yep.
It'll be good to see the car back. It'll be good to see Bobby Blake back at the track.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
definitely itching to get back to the racetrack.
Yeah.
And Biscuit will be there, maybe with a guest driver. I don't know. You know, the old man still got it. The last time the old man drove Biscuit,
Well,
it was second/first, and we can discuss that on a different podcast. But it was a rough night for us.
Is it going to
was
be
a
Jay's
rough night.
debut? We joked about it.
Jay?
And he's been
Maybe.
He's been upset. He's been itching at me.
I know Jay's been wanting to get behind the wheel, but who's going to spot for Jay?
Jay doesn't need a spotter.
I appreciate the confidence. I'm very qualified to walk across that track.
Well,
But I do have a helmet in a pinch.
I know Jay does rides at Daytona.
Used to.
Yeah, he still does. They pull him in.
Yeah.
There's a long list of ride drivers.
Yeah.
You know, but Jay's
When they need the talent, they call Jay.
yeah. When they need the pretty guy, they call Jay in. We call him Jay Money. I don't know why we call him Jay Money, but we call him Jay Money. So, but yeah. So the next race will be either with Biscuit or Blackie, or maybe both. Maybe both. I don't know. We'll tease a little bit. But I'm ready to hop back in the race car anytime.
Well, actually, we need a redo with both of you two back on the track.
Yes,
Yeah,
on
that's
a
kinda-
better finish.
Yeah.
That was an amazing night for me, and also a nightmare at the same time.
Right.
But we won't go too much into that. They can look back into our stuff and see that. But to see him running as well as he did, and me not even being in the same time zone was pretty cool. And he came on the radio because we have channels where we can chat with each other. And he came on and said, "Hey, Dad," and I'm like, "Hey," because I got this, and I'm like, "No, don't ever say that until you get a checker flag." But anyways, I said, "Okay, good." You know, and my nickname for him is Bugs. I said, "Good, Bugs. You know, just do your thing. Just do you." You know, and so it was like I said, it was fun for me to see him in his element and be on the same track as him. Would be even more fun for me to be right behind him, but I didn't have the car for that. He was much quicker. So we'll see how it pans out the next go round. And then the truck, we've got to make a few changes. And then the
Get it
Sportsman
back out,
is
yeah.
not too far away.
Yeah.
We keep chipping away at it. You know, between me being gone a lot, but it's coming. All the big pieces are there, so it won't take us long.
Mhm.
And hopefully, I get to drive the Sportsman. You okay with that?
It's not our car. It's Rick. That's on
It's
Rick.
It's
Yeah,
on Rick.
It's on Rick.
So we may get it all done. He may put Jay in the car. I don't know.
Or Rick might drive it.
Yeah, I don't know. But that car is not far from being done. It's very close. So
Well, Jay, thanks for joining us tonight. I wish you were here in person.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
yeah, man. Thank you for what you do for Dylan, and keep doing it. You do an awesome job, and you know, just keep him out of trouble. That's what we do. That's what you do, man.
I'm having a good time with it, and you know, I'm enjoying the challenge of trying to keep my, you know, quote unquote skills moving forward as he advances in his experience and skill.
Yeah.
You know, he's not the same driver he was when I
No,
started.
no, he's not. He's definitely not. He's
Yeah.
progressed far beyond what I expected in a short period of time, and so you guys do great together. That's why I stay off the radio and just listen.
Yeah, we're doing good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mr.
but-
Smooth.
hopefully in next season it'll be up on top of Daytona Tower, not New Smyrna Tower.
You know, I've thought about that very thing, and I've always wondered if someday, you know, I might find myself on a spotter stand at one of the bigger, you know, NASCAR tracks, you know, pushing that kid around the track.
Yep.
And when I say that, you know, as a term of endearment, he's a skilled driver. He's going to continue to become a skilled driver, and I would love that opportunity to, you know, to spot him around you know, one of those big tracks. And
It's gonna happen. We're gonna keep pushing forward, forging forward. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
yeah, thank you, brother.
Yep. Are we dropping the checkers here?
Yeah, Jordan, you want to wave the checkered flag there?
Sure.
You got anything, Jordan? Okay.
Any final words or thoughts?
I guess the last thing is to say thank you to Jim Jones for taking the amazing pictures.
Yes.
So-
Jim Jones does awesome. Thank you for
Yes.
that. That's a great thing because Jim and Brooke, they do an awesome job at that
Yes.
racetrack. Well, we didn't get a chance to ask you. Are you nervous watching Dylan? Or are you positive? Are you like me, where you just want to like?
Nervous is an understatement.
Okay.
My first race as his girlfriend was the red eye.
Okay.
We all
Oh
know,
boy. Yeah, that one didn't pan out too good.
we all know what happened there.
It
and
was
if you
looking
don't,
good
go
for till lap
watch
2.
it.
It was
Yeah.
looking
2 to go.
sweet.
Two to
till lap
go.
2.
Two to go, and
Mhm.
like you called it, you know, worst nightmare.
Mhm.
And so I have a little bit of PTSD,
Right.
I think I would call it, every time
Right.
I see him get out there. But I'm proud no matter what he does.
Right.
And yeah,
Right.
I don't know if the nerves will ever truly go away.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be tough for Molly too, because I know it's like a ton of bricks for me.
Yeah.
It's a ton of bricks, and I wish it would get a little easier, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't. I stay on go, you know, when he's out there. But you know, he's my kid, you know. So what are you gonna do? But I know he knows what to do, and we've got all the safety equipment lined up for him. We've talked about how to do certain things, and we've had that accident happen to where we kind of know it's not the worst case scenario, but it was a bad case scenario, and he came out okay. So you know, I think he's able to make good judgment calls from there. And I'm not far away. Something happens, I'm going to be there. Believe me, I'm going to be there. But yeah, it's got to be tough for Molly too. She's watched me and Dylan, and then with Dylan and I together, I don't know how she does it. She probably medicates herself very well before we hit the racetrack. But yeah, so Joe?
How about you, Dylan? You got any last words?
Not really.
No?
I kind of stay calm on. I try to stay calm on the racetrack, and everybody else is all nervous.
He's the Iceman. Yeah, he's the Iceman. I keep preaching that. Just be ice.
He's the
Don't
ice man, and he's got smooth talking to
Yeah,
him.
don't take
Yeah.
anything personally out there, because it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just racing.
Yeah.
And drive cold, you know, and just if you get caught up with your emotions, you're going to mess up.
Yeah.
I promise you're going to mess. I've been doing this too long. So just stay ice cold and just drive, you know, just drive the race. Let the race come to you. And that's what he does, and he does well with it. In a caution situation on a restart, I wouldn't want to be against this kid. He's good.
He is good.
He is good. You know, he will put it on. He woke them all up. He made them look bad on that restart. They brought it back for another restart. I was thinking to myself, what? He caught them all sleeping. Why do we got to come back? You know, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, and he's ready to go. So, but we have to deal with the calls that they give us, and so, you know, that's how. But I don't want to race against him under a caution. I want a long green flag run with this kid, not under a caution.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you.
It was a good podcast, I thought. And everybody, don't forget to check out on Facebook the LeBeau Racing page,
Mm-hmm.
and also the Fans of Dylan LeBeau group. We also have the Fast Times LeBeau Racing podcast page. You can also check that out. So we'll have YouTube links posted, Podbean links posted. So from there, we will conclude.
Race hard, race clean.
Thank you, everybody.